DTF the podcast, and you are sitting here with your host with the most, Mr. Queese with the beast.
Falling a little in love at every moment.
Alright, in today's topic we are talking about living in your 20s. These are our final days for some of us who are now in the 30s, and for me who's turning 30 this year. We're talking about all things, finance, love, income, starting a family, getting healthy, and needs don't needs like they used to. We're talking about all about it today on DTF. Starting in kind of hot, kind of spicy, you know. We just a regular Sunday eating DALLASKA day number 2, and now we're here. So to kick it off high and fresh, Key, you were the first to turn 30. So talk about one thing. You know,
Thomas.
You running the footage. Go with it.
Stephanie, get your facts straight.
I'm not a real media person. This is not what I do.
Okay. Run it back.
All right, Key, you were the second person to turn 30 on this table today. So tell us, what is one thing you've learned from your 30s as compared to your 20s?
I would say in my 30s, I personally have learned to be happy with self and taking accountability for the things that I want in my life, for the things that I want to go after, having a very faith-filled and faith-driven life. I've definitely leaned on my faith a lot in my 30s, and I've loved it, honestly.
I love it.
What about you?
Can we ask the question again?
So, okay, I'll reframe for you.
But,
For being the mom of the group,
Oh
going
my
into
gosh.
this era of your life where now you have a black male son, what is one thing that you can say that you've taken from your time that you want to instill in your son?
I would say that's kind of similar to Kiana. Like, I feel like growing up, I had to believe in God because you just had to believe in God. That's what you did. And then before, when I grew up, I was like, I don't even know if I really believe in him because I want to, because somebody told me to. So I didn't have my own connection with God. So now, when it comes to raising Jericho, it's like I want to make sure he has his own relationship with God, like his own understanding, something that he can return to when he gets older. He wants to navigate the world. I want him to have his own history,
His own relationship.
Yeah, I want to think, it's just my mama. I see my mom. He's like, no, I see my mama, and I seen what God did for her, what it did for me, how, I want him to have it all, the complete picture. So yeah, I don't want to wait until he become a black man and he's like, how does therapy mix with religion? And he has all no, I want him to have a little bit more going into it. I mean, what do you think as a black man?
Honestly, I think, one, you have to build your own relationship, but I don't feel like that comes at any particular time. I feel like the most you can do as a parent is to have him in that environment and have him just immerse himself into it. Jericho already now likes going to church.
Yeah.
So I feel like you continue on that aspect of making church interesting and not just, the tambourines and the offerings and the diadems and running the aisles. Because the theatrics is fun. However, that's not what you want him to grow attached to, right? It's the relationship. It's how he feels when he's in the presence. It's how he feels when he knows that, okay, I've seen my own testament to what God can do, right? So unfortunately, that doesn't come until he's old enough to have that cognition. However, the experience of church is what you're building now.
Yeah, and thankfully, you don't even like loud noises. My boy, I don't want to go and big people church. I don't want to kid church. No. And then he come home with his own prayers and stuff from church. I'm like, where you learn that from? And he's like, I know about my name now. Like, oh, you know about Jericho? So he's in the context of it more. These are not real.
Yeah,
That's your percentage.
We're not advertising.
So we are advertising this. This podcast is sponsored by Heineken Zero Proof. Heineken, reach out. We got non-alcoholic in this dry January. We got 6 more days to go. So Heineken, reach out to me.
But I do wish, in retrospect to that more parents actually took the softer approach to introducing their children to church or whatever, so that they don't feel so bamboozled by the theatrics or by the idea that I have to go to church because my mom goes to church, or I only know so much about the church just because I grew up in it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I believe from listening to other people, that's where a lot of church hurt came into it, is because it was the pressure of just being in church every Sunday because you had to be
every
there.
Sunday, every Thursday for Bible study, you
Yeah.
have choir practice, you have the books, Monday night Bible study, Saturday night mass,
Summer
summer school,
yes, all of that. So I think not have, or I'm not, because he's not pressuring us all that now because he actually has like the interest in it or whatever. That already is like fulfilling his mind to like, okay, like I know who Jesus is, like I know who God is, like mommy, let's pray, like taking that into like his own, like he's like kind of taking responsibility right now for his own like individualistic like relationship with God. And I could even say that like I ain't realized I had to have my own relationship with God until what, last year?
Right? Read the Bible was like, I need to know how to pray for myself.
Yeah, I was living on my grandma, my mama, my auntie, and whomever else's prayers because I personally didn't grow up in the church house. Like I went to church every blue moon, but it wasn't something that was just like, it's Sunday, let's go to church. And especially like when my mom and my stepdad like separated, it definitely was like a like, oh my God, don't if I don't. And it was also just kind of like my grandma's faith was just that like she read her Bible, she prayed, she tithed where and when she could, and that was her whole like being. I didn't realize that like going to church was a part of like your faith or like understanding what your faith looks like or whatever. And my mom, like she'll to this day, everything that she has to her name is like, but she accounts to God. So I always knew like who God was or whatever, and that he was grateful for all the things that I had. However, it wasn't one of those things to where I had to like pray on my own to like actually realize that like how I'm being blessed was also because of my own doings as well. So when we read the Bible, that was like, so it was so much awakening in that moment that it was like, whew, what is this? Like, is this all that they was going through? Like, did they know that they were going through all of this? And then like now having my own experience for myself, I can attest to like, God got me, honey.
Amen.
He got me, honey.
Yeah. That's interesting you say that, just because I feel like for myself, growing up in the church, my uncle was a pastor, my grandma was on the board, my mama praised dance, so like all I knew was the church. However, once I went away and went to college, it was like, yeah, I know the church. However, the world is calling my name, you know what I'm saying? And then being in a whole new city, like I don't know nobody here who's really going to church, so it's like, if y'all not going to church or nobody's putting me onto a church, it's like, well shit, I'll catch church when I go back home, and then once I start going back home, it wasn't no more that I knew God. And I knew there were some nights in college where I only made it home because of God. But God. You know what I'm saying? But it was like once I can say this, that once I moved to Atlanta and was really living out of my car for a moment and really like having to understand my test that I was going through, it really made me get closer to God. So once I started really going through life, like, and I turned to God and he started making stuff happen, I was like, oh damn. Then when he really started, like, he took me to the next chapter and really kept making things happen, and I was able to elevate myself into a different life where I knew that wasn't me, that was only God. That's what made my relationship stronger, because I could really put, like, I ain't had no hands in this other than doing it, but God put everything into me to move me into that next chapter, so that way I can't just be like, oh, I did this by myself. No, God got me to this point. He gave me the skills that I needed to get to the next step, and now he's giving me the strength and the courage to keep me going through.
Yeah. That's definitely like a testament within itself, because like people don't realize that like even when we stray away from God, like he's still at the center and core of everything. Like like he takes us through all those moments or whatever, and it's like in those weakened moments is when like he wants us to rely on him mostly or whatever, and it's like all you gotta do is come back to me. Like all you gotta do is like turn away from what you thought you were doing right and just come back to me, and I promise all will be like made right or whatever. And it's like, okay, like having an understanding like that, just like that small idea, but actually acting on it as well, is one of those things that's like you just have to have the genuineness for knowing like who God is or whatever, and like understanding like who he is to you. And I think that's always asking for like, what is your personal relationship with God, and like how do you feel about him? Because what the world may say is okay, like may not apply to you in your life in the moment or whatever. We all are at different avenues and different valleys of life to be able to depict like how God works best for us or whatever. So I like that aspect.
Yeah, it's funny because me and Ty were talking yesterday about how people be like, oh, God allowed X, Y, and Z to happen, but that's not of God. God will put something in you, and then he'll let the devil like, he'll release his hands to see like, are you able to stand on your own 2 feet and really stand on the word of what I put into you? And that's where God really tests to see like, are you gonna stand for me or are you gonna fall against me? And that's really where your like faith has to come into play, is those moments where it's like the devil is really tapped into my thoughts, my finances, my actions, my flesh, all of it. But I have to stand true to the word and really like stand 10 toes for God and be like, all right, God, I see what you're doing. I may not understand it, but I see what you're doing. And I know once I get to the other side, this is the eye of the storm, everything's gonna be okay, but I just have to get through this under your will.
I feel that way about like our drinking right now. Like knowing like how we drank in the past, how we've been drunken in the past.
We funded the city of
man.
Dallas.
Like we like, but God, and like where we are now to where we be in a store and we're like we get alcohol and we reach for non-alcoholic beer. It's crazy because I'm like even in this moment we can like when we trapped in the house or whatever. We can make these choices and do what we want to do. And we're in safety around home. So we can fall out if we want to. However, it's still like, no, there's something that's tugging at us. It's like, no, we're not going to drink. We don't have to drink. We don't have to do this just because we can. And don't even know why necessarily we're like not drinking. But it's just like, why would we keep doing this if it doesn't benefit us in any kind of way, if it's only going to harm our bodies or hurt us in the future? I'm knocking 31. So just being mindful of that as well. I feel like this is like also a test of, is God preparing us for something? Is this a moment where he's like, I am testing you. I'm giving you an opportunity to do so much.
Practice your free will.
Practice your free will. And what are you going to choose? And I would like to say we've been choosing very well.
Even going out, like, niggas still been drinking cranberries on ice and non-alcoholic beers.
And choosing not to just go crazy. It's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to wake up like that. I don't want to deal with that. I want to deal with the decisions that come with losing control because of the alcohol. No, I don't want to do that anymore. So, no.
It hit a little different when you're 32.
It do. It's like a whole 2 days to recover. It's like, I can't afford it.
And don't let me do it on a Sunday and I got to work the next day.
I can't afford it. 5 o'clock used to be enough to recover. Like, you start Sunday earlier and you get at 5. Now it's like, no.
No, I can't.
I cannot.
Because I don't casually drink. I can't just have one beer and be like, all right, y'all, let's keep it moving. Nah, that one beer going to turn into 10 shots. And
because I'm a drink, I drink. I gotta drink.
I don't drink to drink, I drink to get drunk. I ain't gonna lie to you, so
drink.
Yeah.
Let's ball up, let's ball up. But that's an indication of like where free will can take you as well though. And like understanding like God gives us the free, I don't know, I love it God, but God gives us that free will in order to make decisions on our life to like kind of like give us those paths and like align us to pivot us to where he needs us to go or whatever, because he wouldn't place anything in your face that he doesn't have a plan for. It's just upon you to utilize that free will to determine and discern what is the best route for you in your life or whatever. Yeah, because while we may not know like the end path to where things are headed or whatever, if we know like what it is that we want, if we align our true God-driven desires to like the set paths or the set options and opportunities we have in front of us, then that should help us make like easier decisions or help us like pick the path that we need that God would, prefer us to go down or whatever. However, regardless of where we decide to choose or whatever, he has a way to get us back on track. However, knowing that
this is exposing the alcoholic inside of me.
Yeah, and it brings to light so many other things that you're like, okay, like I didn't think this was a problem. I didn't think this was a thing.
That was definitely a problem. I haven't even been drinking. I know drinking is a problem because I have not been drinking. I know how bad I want to drink. That's how I know it is a problem and I don't need to drink. All because I'm not drinking. You take something away from me, you realize how much you want it and how much you depend on it. It's like, oh, that's why.
Because it would be crazy if we didn't have these placebos.
Yeah.
What would be happening right now? The fact that you even need a placebo to put it in place of what you like is crazy within itself.
But I need this.
Yeah, but putting in like alternatives or whatever is a good way to like wean you off of something.
It is.
Well.
I agree. It is a good.
Because they say a crackhead can't just stop smoking crack because it's Tuesday. Like you gotta get them something like
you do. That's what they do. The small doses. And
so these are all small doses.
Because we are trying to make a lifestyle. It's not just like a fast from alcohol. It's like no, we're trying to switch up a lifestyle. It's like I no longer want to go back to a lifestyle where I overly indulge in alcohol and now I'm dependent on it when I have a bad day.
Yeah.
Or a good day.
Or a good day.
Don't let me celebrate. Don't let me celebrate. Look, I passed my test today. I was like, shit, I do 4 shots today.
Or a good day.
That's the bad. Good, but bad thing is that it goes either way, or if it's a benefit to like, well, not benefit, but it was like our
a good combination.
Yeah, to like celebrating, to being sad, to overcoming
something to fit in your day.
Yeah, like What Taco Tuesday? Let's have some
Margarita.
Like it's free.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
I need a little wine down before I go to bed.
Yeah.
Sunday fun day.
Mhm.
Tequila Tuesday.
But guess what? Free will ain't free.
It's not. It costs. It costs something. It's costing
It's
us.
gonna cost you a piece, or it's gonna cost your finances, or it's gonna cost you something somewhere in that
yeah.
interim. But free will is going to cost you something. It's all how you practice it.
Yeah.
Because at the end, that's a sacrifice. You're sacrificing something for something else that you feel is greater in that moment.
I'm gonna sit on that. How y'all gonna transition?
What? What?
I mean, I had it, but you like,
Yeah,
you
you
got something you want to throw out there? Yeah, like, you ain't supposed to talk about it. You're supposed to talk about it. So, I mean, you want to talk about it Tuesday.
Let's wind it back. Yeah.
Excuse her, y'all. This is a third non-alcoholic. She feeling herself a little bit, but. So, I mean, okay, so in talking about free will, we all college degree. We all have multiple degrees.
Mm-hmm.
What made y'all go to college?
Okay. I'm from Beaumont. I was not
Fort Worth,
staying
Texas?
in Beaumont. My mom, crazy enough, so like nobody in my family actually went to college on my mom's side of the family until like I got to college. So I think my mom like attained her degree like maybe my sophomore year in college, or she had started going to school at sometime in that point, but it was online. So I had never been on like a college campus besides Lamar. I didn't know anything about school. My senior year, I realized, or I found out that because my dad's in the military, that like I got the Hazelwood Act. He had already utilized GI Bill, so I wasn't getting that motherfucker. That sucks. But so with the Hazelwood Act, I had to stay in Texas, and I didn't want to be in Houston because it was just too close to home or whatever. I had applied to Hawaii. I was gonna go to Hawaii Pacific University. If I had not had to stay in Texas, I would have been in Hawaii.
You just been doing stuff all your life.
Yes, I have. that was the first school I applied for because I was like, why not? Like, if I could go big. Like, I didn't really know too much about like HBCUs or anything. Like, people talked about it at school, but I was also one of people who was just like doing my own thing or whatever. So I didn't really like know about them a lot. And coincidentally, this girl I danced with, her name is Morgan. She went to UTA. She came home for summer one day and was telling me about their nursing program because I wanted to be a nurse. And I was like, oh, like that sounds like so good. I applied to UTA, and I think I applied to Baylor, and I applied to like one more school, and I got in at both of them. But I was just like, I don't think Baylor's it for me. And when I visited UTA, I actually liked like. It felt like home, but like just like on a different like setting or whatever. Everything was kind of close. The dorms were really nice. Like I was like, this golden. And at the time, I was supposed to come with my 3 best friends at the moment, and they obviously did not work out. However, I proceeded to still come.
Where'd they go? They still there? In Beaumont? Oh.
They fell into that trap, unfortunately.
Yeah, so neither one of them ended up coming in, but I didn't know until like I got to school, like the week of moving, and I was like, "Are you happy that I just moved in?"
We'll see what happened was.
I was like, "Okay, I mean that's cool too." But they're both doing really well now. However, you want to sit down? Okay. So yeah, I did not. I didn't know. So UTA just kind of became my default school by like point of reference. I started as a nursing major. Quickly decided not to do that after my sophomore year. Not even sophomore, freshman year. After taking 2 sciences and getting C's. I was an AB student. My GPA in high school was a 3.99.
What was the 2 classes?
Biology and
biology
biology and something else. Mind you, I had already took A&P, both 1 and 2 in high school. So like I could pass A&P 1 and 2. Like I could get this last little science. And UTA program was very rigorous, so you had to take at least 2 of your sciences at the campus. Yeah. And because I had got a C in that class, my science GPA wasn't like competitive enough. So I was like, I'm not retaking this class just so that y'all can decide if I can be a nurse or not. I mean, it was like, bump that. What's next? Finance, business major, me. I became business major, got finance. After that, I attempted to go to school during COVID and get my master's in education. I in my mind was convinced that I was going to be a superintendent if I got my educational leadership master's. And I literally went through like I went through like a year and a half of school. And like my last semester, they told me I had to have like so many credit hours of like in classroom like work or whatever. And I was like, I've been in this program all this year. Y'all know I'm not a teacher. Like, why nobody said nothing? Yes, and I tried, but it was just like I would have literally had to be at the school every day or whatever to be able to like make up those hours. Then I was gonna need to like get a teaching job because I also didn't know that you gotta work for damn near 10 years plus as a teacher to even be considered like in some type of yeah. And I was like, why? This don't even make sense because I feel like half the people that's in superintendent roles don't care about the actual students. So why does that matter if I teach or not? So that quickly ended. And then what? A couple years later, I went back and got my master's in financial planning.
Where'd you go?
Texas Tech in Lubbock. That was funded by my job at the time. So again, not a choice of mine. However, it worked out.
Hey.
So yeah, I have a bachelor's of science in finance and a master's of science in personal financial planning. Ty? What? Marquisha go.
Okay. So similar story. I'm from Port Arthur, Texas, Southeast Texas. A lot of people that I went to school with went to school in Houston. Very few went to school in Dallas. I was fortunate enough to have three older cousins who had all gone to school whether at OU, UNT, or Lamar University, and so I knew what college was. However, seeing it for myself was something different. I was initially supposed to go to Sam Houston State. I got accepted. I knew that's what I was going. I wanted to be a Bearcat. That's just, it was close enough but far enough to.
Football team.
Yeah, Houston was like that was the school I knew I was going to and everything. I had an older cousin who was working at UT at the time. He was like, "Hey, just come up, check it out." I was like, "Okay, cool." I went up there one day for what they call it,
the
orientation tour. Man, I was like, "Oh yeah, this it." Like I had never been to Dallas before, and it hit all the things that I didn't even know I needed and wanted. So that was 2014, and I've honestly been in Dallas ever since. So I was initially an accounting major first semester because I like math. I'm a numbers guy in my head. But accounting and numbers, those two things aren't real. Accounting is not a real thing. So for all the accountants out there, props out to you. That is not my ministry. So I switched to social work, and I loved it. I always knew I had a calling to help people. Just growing up in the environment that I came from and the household I came from, superhero was always quote unquote the role I had to play, unbeknownst to myself. So going to school for social work just fit. Also, after some years in social work, I was like, yeah, this is cool. However, I don't want to get licensed. The income is not equitable to what the work you actually have to do. And I knew long term that wasn't directly what I wanted to do. So COVID, school was free, pretty much. That GRE got waived, and the GPA really didn't need much. They just wanted you to apply. So shout out to Lamar University in Beaumont, Texas. I went for my master's in public health, and 2022 I graduated, got my certification as a health education specialist, and honestly, I fell in love with healthcare. Being able to talk to people who look like me about issues that we would never talked about, like diabetes, hypertension, sexually transmitted diseases, unwanted pregnancies, wanted pregnancies. Kind of like everything that us as young people go through that we were never really given true insight on outside of that health and wellness, or like what was the economics class in high school where you're not really talking about nothing.
At all.
You making cakes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like adult ed just wasn't a real thing. So like being able to do that, especially for like younger people, was like a calling to me. So I've been in public health honestly ever since, and now being a nursing student is crazy to hear that like, we all will have our nursing student moments of like, that is not where I knew my life would be. However, I had my last job and I fit all the qualifications for a clinic director. Like I had the tenure, I had the education, I had the qualifications on the job description, all of it. The only thing I didn't have was my RN. And I'm like, y'all tell me I can't have this one position that I have every other requirement for, plus the leadership and the degrees, but you tell me I can't have that because I don't have an RN? Say less, I'm gonna get my RN. So to me, it was just like,
so
that's like,
excellent.
I don't like being told no. So I was like, well, shit, this is what I want to do. And I know I want to be competitive against anybody, no matter what position I go for. And this is a position that AI is never going to take healthcare. Yeah, like, you may be able to automate so many things, but you will always need a human element to really efficiently do healthcare. So I don't want to necessarily do practical healthcare like bedside nursing. I want to oversee healthcare operations and develop programs for communities that really teach education in a culturally competent manner. So being able to do that is something that's like really keen to me. So yeah, now spring 28.
Was that 2 more years? Yes.
2 years from now.
Glory. We gonna hit the jackpot then, y'all.
Somebody take me out the hood.
Look.
Somebody got to do it. Well, shout out to the village of nurses that's helping me through this.
Yeah, man. Mine is something similar. Y'all know I got so many siblings. I'm the second to youngest of 8 with my mama, and then I have 2 other brothers with my daddy. But on my mama's side, none of them graduated high school. I'm not proud of that. But like none of them graduated high school or anything. So I graduated high school the first, and then I went on to college. Parents didn't graduate high school either, so like it was all me. So college for me was like it was kind of like expected. It was like, oh, you've been on this path. You've always been this person who cared about school and cared about the academic portion because nobody else really did. Like, you know, you're from the hood, so that was always like in the hood. In the hood. Nacogdoches. The oldest town in Texas, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was my expectation. Even going through school, like I'll call home and I like want to check on like what was happening at home. And my oldest brother would be like, you don't worry about home. You worry about graduating college. Like that is your job, to graduate college, to get through school. Everything else at home, we figure it out. I was like, dang, I really do need to focus on school, but family is always family. Their drama is always drumming. So, I wanted to be a pediatrician at first.
Me too.
But that biology took me out, and I knew then and there, it's not for me. If this is just the first one that I gotta get through, and if it's doing it to me like this, I'm done. I'm done. I was done. So I didn't do it. Nope, not doing it at all. However, I went to education, and I was like, okay, I'll do education. But going through education, I was like, they're not teaching me what I need to know to be useful when it comes to actually identifying kids' needs. And that's how I went to social work. And I was like, okay, well, let's go to social work. And social work gave me that, it gave me the scratch I was trying to itch of just like learning about cognitive development and just the environments that kids grow up in. How does it affect them? And if I'm wanting to know the why beyond the classroom, how to pry for it. Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, it's so much more than just academics. I want to know about the entire child. So I got my bachelor's in social work, UTA, sorry y'all met. And then after that, the summer after I got my bachelor's, I got pregnant with Jericho. And you know, the man behind the scenes.
Don't call me.
No.
That was Jericho.
Yeah, got pregnant with him or whatever, and I had got accepted into my my graduate program. It was a dual program, my teacher certification with my master's, and I did the first year, and then I withdrew the second year. It was a 2-year program. I withdrew the second year because I had Jericho, and then I went through postpartum, and I couldn't finish. And my therapist was like, "You need to make a decision. Like you gotta make a decision what you're gonna do." So I was able to withdraw from those classes, and I took like another year off from school. And then the next year, I picked back up, and that's when I finished my classes, and I got my master's in education from Texas A&M Commerce, and then I got my teacher certification. So yeah, my social work degree I still put in place today with education. So I feel like it all worked out. Like I needed that social work degree to fund this enjoyment that I have about teaching the whole child and loving the whole child, and they just. And then I'm in Montessori now, so it just makes it even better because the Montessori is all about the whole child, all about the lifestyle, and it's more than just academic. So it came together. It came together, yeah. And
shout out to UTA for bringing us together.
Yeah, I know.
That was none of our first choices.
Not at all.
I mean, UTA and Greek life, because Greek life brought us all together too. That's how them paths got
UTA got us to the destination. Greek life really got us to the
got us intertwined.
So how you started off? Tell us about a day in life at your job. What is a typical day?
Oh my gosh, last week. So I was in a classroom teaching middle school math for like, how long was that? For 3 years. Only like 3 years, middle school math. And then I went to elementary, y'all. I went to elementary. And then I went to elementary, I started doing Montessori, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade for 3 years. And this year, I'm an instructional coach. Last week, a little boy hit me in my back and hit me in my head 3 times. He hit me. Yes, dude, 1st grade. He ain't big, he about this big. He ain't big as nothing. However, that's not the point, it's the principle. We had lunch. And I'm walking around, I'm monitoring lunch. And they like, Miss Rose, he spit on me. And I'm like, we don't spit. stop spitting, okay? We're not gonna spit. You see me after lunch. You don't go to recess. He got mad. You know how you push them across the table? He kept pushing them across the table to hit the boy. And I was like, you know what? Now you need to be removed because you're endangering the lives of like your friends. You're not being a good friend. I need you to come over here and set this table. Boy, he got up. He got that lunchbox. He said, he threw it at the boy's head. The boy got up and he ran across now. He moving. I'm like, yes, like just leave it alone. So now I'm like, you need to leave the cafeteria. First grade. Let me gotta leave the cafeteria. Now you're endangering everybody and I cannot trust you to sit here. He said, no, my boy, he crashing out. So at this time, I got to pick him up and cradle him. And I'm trying to make sure, you know, you got to be really careful with the kids nowadays. You can't let a finger scratch nobody. You got to be careful. So I'm cradling, and he was about to bite me as I walk. I said, you bit not bite me. He don't care. And the boy, he hit me in my back as we walking down the hall. And I'm looking at the camera like, I know y'all better get this. Y'all better get all of this on camera. And I was like, why are you hitting me? And I know, like, I shouldn't have, but you know how, like, something just be so crazy, like, you really hit me. And that's what I was like, you really hit me. I was like, why would you hit me? I guess he thought it was funny. He got to hit me in my head. I was like, oh no.
I would have dropped his ass.
Immediately, on his head. Like, oh, okay.
And I was like, just get to the office. Get to the office and sit him down. And he's just there and he's just smiling.
So he knew what he was doing.
I was say he was like,
This is very much like yeah.
Yes, we called home and everything. And we talked about it and he was like, yeah, I know. I shouldn't have hit her in the head. But I was mad because she wanted to remove me from the cafeteria. But I know why she wanted to remove me from the cafeteria because I spit on him. And why did you spit? I don't have a reason. I just wanted to spit on him.
Did he get suspended?
No, he did not. And because they're in first grade, you gotta be so
I know you lying.
delicate with him. And I'm like,
Delicate
bruh.
about what? He in the first grade.
And they was like, well, how do you feel? I'm like, I don't know. I need to see about how my head feels.
Because now I got concussion.
Yes.
I need to days
Now
off.
I have a headache. I have a headache now. My back hurts. Like, workers come. Because this is
Oh shit,
Good,
somebody.
boy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
So, no, he went outside for recess. We're going to see. He's going to, yeah.
I ain't to move my DC out of school. Y'all didn't leave me and shit.
Because back in my day, he was arrested.
Yes.
They would have had charges pressed on him.
As an adult.
So, yeah, I mean, we talked about taking away some privileges and things like that. But literally, that's it. That like, those are the days. Then my first half of the day was dealt with him. The second half of the day was like, Miss Rose, can you remove this kid from my classroom? And I was like, send him to the hallway. Just send him to the hallway. So it depends. Sometimes you get a chance to teach. Sometimes you gotta just straight discipline. So
So for all those out there who are thinking about having kids, you had that story. That was birth control.
That's our birth control.
That was the vasectomy I needed. I ain't got to get touched. Like, go ahead, baby. I
be
appreciate
careful
it.
if you want to go into the education field. It's crazy. But my whole life with kids, like I brought Kiana to a church for me serving, and she was like, girl, and I was like, aren't you having so much fun?
No. Pause. We have to tell, y'all heard her just say she's like, kid, we have to tell the story about Colombia. So, let me tell
We're
you.
drunk.
I always got to preface the story there, right? So we go to Colombia because that's just what we do. My girl, on the Dime Traveler, playing some of the best trips. So slight plug if you ever need a trip plan on the Dime Traveler, get with her. So we go to Colombia, we in Cartagena, and we out one night. You know, we lit. They done passed around $5 Don Julio shots all night. So we are having a great time, right? So all of a sudden, we come out the club, it is kids everywhere.
Panhandling kids.
Everywhere. And they come up to her, Miss, let me get $5. She like, well, if you can solve this math problem for you, I'll give you some money. So she going back and forth with the kid. The whole time we looking around like, I know an adult was finna come snatch you up in a hot minute because you just fell for the trap. So all I say to say this story is, she don't care what country she in, what language she gotta speak. She don't engage.
And that baby was waiting on us outside
He
the
was.
club.
That's everyone. And I was like, yo, just give him $5. Like, he answered the problem. He was gonna ask his mama too. And I was like, no.